The Sixers win a thriller, and it's another loaded night of hoops on Locked On NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
You are locked on to NBA Game Night, every game, every night. And I'm Gavin Schall, the host of the Locked On Knicks podcast, filling in for Rylan Stiles. I'm lucky enough to be joined by my Atlantic Division rival. He recently got cooked by Joe Mazzulla in a basketball game. It's John Karalis. John, how you
Part
doing?
of my intro. I've been cooked by Joe Mazzulla. Celtics were cooked by your Knicks. I mean,
I didn't even go there, man. I could have made it personal.
What
I didn't go there.
It's just abuse. It's all right. That's okay.
There's a lot of Chris Boucher in your life, but that's okay because you've won a championship in the last 3 years, and the team I cover has not in 70 years. On this edition of Locked On NBA Game Night, before we get into that, I want to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. On today's show, we are talking a big Sixers win over the Charlotte Hornets. The Orlando Magic, the much-hyped Orlando Magic, falling to 1-2 on the season. Chicago notching their second big win to start the season. We touch on a dominant win for the Oklahoma City Thunder. Big shocker there. Cedric Coward cooking for the Memphis Grizzlies. Nuggets predictably blow out the Suns. And a fun edition of early season week one overreactions. But we start in Philadelphia with a big win for the Sixers. And to get the latest from Philadelphia, let's go to our buddy Mark on Locked On Sixers.
Going to be like this for the 76ers this season because so far they have a really good first half, struggle mightily in the third quarter, and then fight tooth and nail to get back into the game and then eventually win in the fourth quarter. This time around, it was Tyrese Maxey again having a big night, not 40 points big, but still 28 points to lead all scorers, and also Quentin Grimes coming up with the Sixers' most clutch shot of the night, knocking down a three that put the Sixers in front for good with 15 seconds left in that fourth quarter that helped the Sixers end that fourth quarter on a 23-9 run on the Charlotte Hornets that helped them pick up that 125-121 victory over Charlotte. Grimes coming up with 24 points off the bench. Andre Drummond also deserves a hat tip in this one, comes up with 13 rebounds, and Joel Embiid plays just 20 minutes again, but this time around, he also nets 20 points in his performance.
Mark Farzetta, check him out on Locked On Sixers. John Karalis, Sixers, promise I'm not throwing salt in the wound here. Big comeback against your Celtics, down by 10 with 5.5 minutes to go against the Hornets. Come back, win this one. What were your impressions of this game? What are your impressions in general of the early season Sixers?
First of all, I feel like that meme of like the guy just getting kicked repeatedly.
Yeah, the guy taking the arrows.
That's okay. Yeah. That's okay. No, Sixers. Look, my first reaction is that Joel Embiid looked so bad on opening night, just completely like I'm like this guy's never going to go back to the point a minute guy, and here he is scoring a point a minute. So that's I think the most encouraging thing. Still not a dominant Joel Embiid, and against the Hornets, you take it with a grain of salt. So that is like anytime you get something positive out of Embiid at this point, you hope that he can build on it. Tyrese Maxey is a superstar. VJ Edgecombe look, everybody gave Cooper Flagg Rookie of the Year, and I'm not going to change that after a couple of games, but Edgecombe's going to make it a race the way he's been playing. So positives, the Sixers are 2-0, and that's something that the Sixers, I think, are the highest variance team in the NBA, where if a couple of things don't go their way, they could be a lottery team. And if a couple of things do go their way, they could be in the mix for, a conference final. So this is encouraging. And while you're figuring out, and while Paul George is out, if you can win some of these games while all that stuff is happening, then great. And then that makes you feel better about January, February, March, where you can say, hey, Edgecombe has a few months under his belt. Joel has a little bit of rehab and all that stuff. Maxey just stays being Maxey. The chemistry picks up, and then you can build on some of these early season wins.
Yeah, I thought it was a really impressive showing again for Philadelphia. Embiid to me looked very stiff, and it tells you what a titanic talent he is that I can say that. And he, to your point, scored literally a point a minute, 20 points, 4 assists, 2 steals, 7-11 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3. I still don't love how he's moving, and I think he really benefited from the fact that he was going against Ryan Kalkbrenner, and Kalkbrenner's going to be good, but this was his second ever NBA game, and he just repeatedly was like a foot further away than he needed to be from Embiid, and Embiid said, great, I'm going to drain this one, I'm going to drain this one, and then you get great post position, and he just like would, maybe this is like a protective mechanism. He started doing this thing the last few years where he almost falls down every single time he shoots. Had 2 ridiculous passes, like set up Maxey curling off, just like a between the legs, no look, essentially like dribble handoff. Hit Edgecombe running in transition with a look away lob that was just beautiful. Like it was nice to see Joel Embiid, as much as our 2 fan bases hate the guy. Again, Tyrese Maxey, like first quarter, fourth quarter, just ridiculous. Hit 4 threes in the first 8 minutes of this one, including a 29-footer off the catch on his very first 3. Then like a catch and shoot from 27, snatch back 26-footer on Con Knipple. Like he, like maybe the fastest player in the NBA, now one of the NBA shooters. I don't really know what you do with that. Essentially put the game away with 2 different plays going right at Trey Mann in the final minute, pull up just inside the elbow, too small of a defender on him, then draws 2, sprays it out to Quentin Grimes, who's also awesome in this game, for a big wing 3. On the Hornets side, like a lot of fun stuff. Like you still question if they totally know how to win these types of games yet, though they did get 2 fantastic looks for Con Knipple, one from the wing in a 2-man game with LaMelo Ball, one from the left corner. He was 3 for 4 from 3, happened to miss those 2. The rookie was awesome. He's going to be awesome. LaMelo continues a really good start to the year, including his preseason 27, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 steals. I thought maybe some poor shot selection, 1 foot, 28-foot 3 on that.
What?
Last
poor shot selection for LaMelo Ball?
I know it's crazy. But I don't want to just crap on the guy because I thought he did some good stuff. Colin Sexton, some of the best just like tight area ball handling you will ever see, like slithering through 3 or 4 guys. He's been really good in the early going, 21-7. Some nice flashes for the Hornets. I just want to ask you one more question about the Sixers before we move on. I think this is already like one of the best couple of guard rotations in the NBA. They're going to get Jared McCain back. Quentin Grimes, Maxey, Edgecombe, they were able to close with all 3 of those guys on the floor. It seems like Grimes is not going to be a long-term piece for this team, given the inability for them to reach an extension for him. He's been really good, obviously end of last season, really good start of this season, 24-4, hit the game-winning 3, as we noted, 5 for 8 from distance in this game. Do they trade Grimes before the deadline to get a little bit more wing depth, a little bit more big depth, or do you think they just ride it out with this group? Because when McCain comes back, it's a lot of talent for not a lot of minutes unless you're willing to consistently play Edgecombe or Grimes as kind of an undersized wing.
You know, it's an interesting question. I don't know that they do. A midseason trade is going to be difficult because of, I think, the Giannis situation. And so I think a lot of teams are going to be holding on to their assets, and you don't want to make a move before you figure out what Giannis is going to do. Now, Grimes could be an incredible piece in a multi-team deal. And I think any midseason deal that I'm considering, I'm looking at it in terms of what's happening with Giannis. I'll throw a dark horse trade candidate in Trae Young, depending on how the Hawks do this year. And like, could something happen there? I think the potential for a big name trade at the deadline could stall things that make sense, like you're talking about. But I do see the potential for, hey, if Grimes goes to, I mean, maybe Grimes could be a guy that goes to Milwaukee, and the Sixers get a piece from somewhere else. So maybe they don't trade Grimes just to say we're trading Grimes for they fold it into Milwaukee trades Giannis somewhere, not Philly, but they get Grimes, they get a couple other young players, and the Sixers somehow get a piece from somewhere else that fits.
Yeah, he is just the type of player every team can use. Awesome point of attack defender, really good shooter, can attack a closeout, high level finisher, smart passer. Like I think a contender is going to get a steal, and he could be a game changing piece. If Philly is maybe not that contender, if they are that contender, maybe they hold on to him and they're okay with losing him at the end of the year for nothing.
That's always possible.
We will keep it rolling with the Orlando Magic dropping to 1-2 on the season. Another big win for the Chicago Bulls when we come back on Locked On NBA Game Night. But first, I want to tell you about our good friends over at Robinhood. Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Locking in on every opening, beating your PR, beating it again. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control of your money. Trade stocks and ETFs, options, futures, and crypto all on one platform. You can now build and execute your own trades from a desktop with Robinhood Legends advanced tools, or take advantage of the new Robinhood strategies with a tailored portfolio managed by a team of experts. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move. We also want to tell you about our good buddies over at DoorDash. The NBA season is heating up, and DoorDash has found the perfect way to keep fans in their bag all season long. Whether you're watching for the highlights, your fantasy team, or just your favorite player, DoorDash makes every game night even better. DoorDash is the official on-demand delivery platform of the NBA, and they're celebrating with something called the Bag Drop. Every time an NBA player scores 50 points in a game, DoorDash drops 50% off your order with Dash Pass the next day. Remember, it's already happened twice this season, and you're automatically entered for a chance to win the ultimate bag. We're talking player-inspired drip, exclusive gear, and stuff you'll actually want. So next time somebody goes off for 50, use promo code NBA50 the next day to get 50% off on DoorDash with Dash Pass, plus your shot at the Bag Drop. Dash Pass members only, 50% off on 50% off up to $10 a day after a 50-point game with promo code. Terms apply. No purchase necessary. Ends April 13th. Open to U.S. residents 21 years or older. Visit DoorDashInYourBag.com for full details. DoorDash in your bag all season long. All right, what's up? We're back on Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night. Gavin Schall, John Karalis, and now Philip Rossman-Reich, host of Locked On Magic, telling you why Orlando could not pull this one off against the Chicago Bulls.
This is Philip Rossman-Reich, the host of Locked On Magic here at the Kia Centers. The Orlando Magic fall to the Chicago Bulls 110-98. Another game where the Magic simply could not find their shot. That intractable problem shows up again. The Magic shoot 3 for 24 from 3, 2 for 17 in the first half, and made only 1 3. That 1 3 actually sparked a little bit of a run that allowed them to tie the game in the third quarter. But at the end of the day, this game is about making shots. You've got to make shots to stay in these games, and the Magic could not find offense. It wasn't even just a three-point shooting. They struggled to score at the rim. They struggled to score in transition. Just so many mistakes. This team looks like they're out of sync, and the fact of the matter is, when you're struggling to score, that puts so much pressure on your defense. When you're playing faster, it's a lot more opportunities to score against their defense. The Magic's defense, generally fine. There were certainly some bad fouls, some bad threes. Ayo Dosunmu hit 2 big threes that put this game away. But this is about the Magic's offense still, and until that gets corrected, the Magic are going to struggle.
John, this is an old story for the Orlando Magic, very famously not in the top 20 in the NBA in offensive rating since, I believe, 2012. Last season, second worst three-point shooting season for a team in the last 25 years. Desmond Bane was supposed to correct that. Jalen Suggs has been their best three-point shooter early in the season. He missed this game after playing just under 20 minutes in the first 2, and Orlando fans are kind of left shaking their head a little bit.
The Orlando Magic have played 3 games and have taken total 85 three-pointers. In 3 games, the Celtics and the Cavs in 2 games have taken more.
Jesus.
So not only are they not shooting them well, they're not taking enough, which may seem counterintuitive because they're shooting 28% from 3 and it's the worst in the league, but you have to play modern NBA basketball, and you can't shoot 20-something three-pointers a night. You have to get up over 30. You have to be, I would say, close to 40 if you're taking 85 shots a game, 88 shots a game, somewhere in that range where Orlando tends to land. You still have to be up at 36, 37 three-pointers, just generating the kinds of shots, because when you do that, it's drive and kick. You're running actually good offense. And if I want the end result to be good open look three-pointers, but Orlando's offense has just been garbage. And maybe I think a lot of people saw the Desmond Bane trade and said, all right, here we go. But that's not yet. And of course it makes sense, but it's one player is not enough to change an entire system. The system has to change. And yeah, Desmond Bane should do more. Why is he only getting 4 or 5 3-pointers a night? In this game, what did he take? 2? Yeah. So it is malpractice for Desmond Bane to take 2 3-pointers in a game. He should be taking 12 3-pointers in a game. It's 2025. That's what the game is. If Desmond Bane, and he's never taken more than 7 or 8 in the season, but he should be up around the double-digit mark. He's that good of a shooter. Why aren't you running an offense that generates those kinds of shots? That's a huge problem for the Orlando Magic.
Franz Wagner just takes 1 after starting the season shooting 4 for 10. Really promising start to the year for him. I'm a big advocate that he is their best player. Their offense should run with him. Some more slightly questionable shot selection from Paolo Banchero down the stretch this one after taking just an inexplicable 28-foot 3 the other night in that close loss to the Hawks. Takes like a really tough pull-up 2 early in a possession when the game is slipping away from them late in the fourth quarter. I don't want to make this only about the Magic. I want to tip of the cap to the Chicago Bulls. Big win over the Pistons to start the season. Like big win over another Eastern Conference contender. I think the Bulls are maybe the team that, like, it's a long list that NBA pundits like to make fun of the most in the Eastern Conference.
Oh, yeah.
But if nothing else, just a really solid start to this year. Philip mentioned it. Ayo Dosunmu was awesome. 3 threes in the fourth quarter. This one, Trey Jones over and over again, collapsing the defense, spraying it out, decidedly outplaying his older brother in this one, who's not gotten off to a good start to the year, filling in for Jalen Suggs for the Magic. I think that's another factor in Orlando's inability to generate threes. Like they need some solid, just like initiation that they might not have. And I think they will get back when Suggs is playing. Some of the defense from Chicago down the stretch. Jalen Smith was a dude, like inside finishing, banged a 3, late term vindication for former Suns GM James Jones on that one. All right, let's keep it moving. We head to Atlanta, where the Oklahoma City Thunder, 2 thrillers. It took them a whole bunch of overtimes, I think 4 of them in the first 2 games of the season to get wins. They get a comfortable win finally, and on the wrong end of it, Brad Rowland and the Atlanta Hawks.
Kind of a back-to-back to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Saturday. Not exactly a shocking defeat. The Hawks were 9-point underdogs, according to our friends at FanDuel in the game. And that was in part because they were without their entire starting front court trio of Jalen Johnson, Kristaps Porzingis, and Zachary Reshape. The Hawks were competitive for a half. The third quarter got off the rails a little bit against a very, very good Thunder team. Yes, short-handed Thunder team as well, but still with Shea and Chet, etc. And the Hawks just kind of didn't do the little things in the third quarter. Too many turnovers. Ball security was a problem in the third quarter. Plus, the defensive glass was an issue throughout the night for the definitely undersized, undermanned Hawks in this spot. Overall, this loss is easier to take after a very nice win on Friday, but 1-2 is not where the Hawks want to be, and now they hit the road for 4 games beginning on Monday in Chicago. We'll have a full breakdown of this and much more on Locked On Hawks.
Embarrassed by the Toronto Raptors to open the season. You mentioned a big win over Orlando. Kristaps Porzingis flu-like symptoms, did not play. Zachary Reshape, right ankle sprain. Jalen Johnson, right ankle sprain. Both didn't play. We haven't gotten to see this Hawks team at full strength yet in the early season. So much hype, so much excitement about what this group could be. And similar to the Magic, slightly disappointing start, though, with a lot of important caveats for Atlanta.
Well, it's the important caveats are I think part of the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like Kristaps Porzingis, flu-like symptoms. Having been on that side, the Porzingis experience for 2 seasons.
Same.
Yeah, right. It's like I love Kristaps Porzingis. Just on a personal level, covering Kristaps Porzingis, like I'm excited to go to Atlanta. I'm excited for Atlanta to come to Boston because that's going to be like a fun reunion. He's a good, he's great with the media. He loves the fans. The fans love him. And he's going to play 60 games. And it's going to be like tantalizing, but disappointing because you could have used him against the Thunder. And that's, the size is, if anything bothers the Thunder, it's size. And he could be a difference maker. But hey, this is going to be the thing with the Hawks. And count me as one of the detractors about the Hawks. I think people who know me know I'm a certified Hawks hater, and I don't believe in them. I don't believe in Trae Young as a winning player. And so 1-2 is not where some people expected them to be, but 1-2 is not surprising to me because I just don't think, as long as Trae Young is their best player, I just don't think that he is enough to lead whatever talent they have past what they've done historically.
Look, as the Knicks guy, I should be applauding right now, but I am a big believer in this Hawks team. Watching them in the preseason, obviously, big grain of salt. Like, I think the potential for this offense and just the different permutations of the two-man game between Trae and KP and how they can run that two-man game with any one of their wings and have KP sitting in the corner when healthy. That is a big, I should say, if healthy, that's a big if. I am really, really intrigued by this starting lineup, despite the slow start in game one. I want to see what they look like at full strength. Still had some really good moments in this game. Onyeka Okongwu just had one of the dunks of the year, or early year, I should say dunks of the week, on Chet Holmgren, just rolling down the lane. That was dirty. Trae Young cooked one of the best defenders in the NBA, Cason Wallace, on a couple of just nasty crossovers early in this game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, after a terrible game one, had his second straight really nice game shooting off the ball. Mo Gay, analytics darling, like really taking advantage of getting a whole bunch of minutes. On the Oklahoma City side of this, just a masterclass from Chet Holmgren and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 31 for Chet, 30 for SGA. We'll circle back on this, but Chet 6 for 8 from 3. His release looks much faster. He looks far more confident in that shot. That is terrifying news for the rest of the NBA. Just looks scary. And like, he's doing it off the dribble too. Just had like a double between the legs, putting one in Okongwu's eye, like getting to the mid post, turning around seemingly for a fadeaway, then throwing a lob to Isaiah Hartenstein. Onyeka like kept weirdly daring him to shoot, and he ended up hitting 4 threes in the first 7 minutes of this one. Atlanta kept it close for half. Oklahoma City just overwhelmed them in the second half. And the Thunder, like in a season where, I mean, they start off against one really great team and one team with a lot of pride, they got the blowout easy win that they've kind of been waiting for.
Yeah, this totally smacked of a champ going against a team that's struggling, missing a bunch of key players. And I think the first half was kind of like, we got this. And like, oh, wow. Like all the guys you mentioned, you know, are doing like some things. Like Mo Gay was like a lot of people were talking about him. Like you just see all the tweets coming up about, you know, his game, and, you know, Newell having a really good game. And you're like, okay, for the first half, it just felt like OKC wasn't fully there. Come out in the third quarter, blast them in the third quarter, and cruise to the win. Very typical of good team going against a, whatever you want to call a team that's missing key players.
14-7-7 for AJ Mitchell. Damn it, Sam Presti, he did it again. We'll keep it rolling here on Locked On NBA Game Night with a whole bunch more, including our Week 1 overreactions. But first, we want to tell you about some of our newest friends here at Locked On, Overreactions. Let me be real. Making excuses doesn't solve anything. We've all heard them before. It's just stress, I'm tired, or it happens to everyone sometimes. But when it comes to performance, sometimes your body just needs a little extra support, and that's where Rougiette comes in. Rougiette.com offers fast-acting, doctor-prescribed treatments for ED designed to help you stop making excuses and start making moves. Rougiette makes it super easy to get started. You just connected with a board-certified doctor, 100% online, no awkward waiting rooms, no in-person appointments. If prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly straight to your door. The process is fast, simple, and private. It's all handled by real doctors. It's about confidence, connection, and getting back to the moments that matter. So visit RUGIET.com/LockedOnNBA to get 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNBA. And don't forget to use our code LockedOnNBA so they know we sent you. Rougiette. Stop making excuses and start making moves. We also want to tell you about our good friends over at FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you just don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and you can get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love how FanDuel gives me so many different ways to play. I built parlays, tried player props, and even follow the live lines during games. This is the last time I can bring this up, but if you're a New York Giants fan like me, avert your ears. If you were watching that game against the Denver Broncos and they were down 26-8 with less than 6 minutes left, and you put some money on that Broncos live line. There's a world where you're paying for your kid's college fund. It was that crazy of a comeback, 1 in 1,600. So whether you're a casual fan or love diving to the stats, FanDuel makes the game day experience just that much better. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com, download the FanDuel app today, and get started. All right, what's up, guys? We are back to wrap up another action-packed edition of Locked On NBA Game Night. Cedric Coward and the Memphis Grizzlies, a couple nights after getting embarrassed by the Miami Heat, return the favor to the Indiana Pacers.
The Memphis Grizzlies won by 25 points on Saturday night. A very impressive performance after losing by 30 or so points the night before, led by a rookie who has been taking the team by storm, making the most out of his opportunities. I'm Joe Mullinax of Locked On Grizzlies, and DeMichael Cole, my co-host, and I over on Locked On Grizzlies, we tried to tell you about Cedric Coward. We tried to inform you about the potential that this young man had. The Duke Blue Devils aren't just throwing around money in the transfer portal, if you know what I mean. They knew exactly what Cedric Coward was capable of, and he rose up draft boards, and he stayed in the draft, and he became a Memphis Grizzly. And now, an amazing performance against this Pacers team certainly will not be the expectation or the norm for him moving forward. But with 4 rotation starter-type players out, for Cedric Coward to get this opportunity and make the most of it so early in the season, that's a huge plus.
Cedric Coward, crazy story. D2, D3 player, transfers to Washington State, plays 6 games there, was going to go to Duke, and then he realized, you know what, I could be pretty good in the NBA. 27 in this one. All he's done in the early season, 3 games into his NBA career, 19 points, 4 rebounds, 2 stocks per game, 70% from the field, 73% from 3, 92% from the line, 8 for 11 from 3 overall. Probably does not quite maintain that efficiency, John, but in a year where Memphis made a bet by moving off Desmond Bane, not a rebuild, but a reload around John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr., they're getting fantastic returns on the guy who's maybe just his profile most closely fits that to which they got from Bane.
Yeah, look, you make some of these business decisions, and in this second apron era, you have to take some of these chances, right? You have to make these decisions to move off certain guys and hope that younger, cheaper talent can step up. This is a clear win already, and of course, the efficiency is going to go away. There are going to be some bad nights, but a stretch like this is immediate vindication, right? I think both sides can be happy, even though we just had a whole big thing about Orlando's offense. But I think that, again, that's more scheme than anything. I think both sides can be happy. And look, I think Memphis Grizzlies, the Grizzlies fans kind of need this. After everything they've been through, they need a hit like this. So it's good to see.
He is 6'5", but he looks just so much bigger than that on the court. Like, he had this insane play where he was backing down Isaiah Jackson and just kind of like body bumped him, dislodged him, and flipped in like a half no look inside hand reverse layup. Like there is something there. Really functional passer, like great rhythm shooter, like catches, dips, goes right up. Like he just looks like your prototypical NBA wing on both sides of the ball. That's exciting. Memphis got out in transition a ton in this game. Super fun win. Maybe a little less fun if you're our buddy Tony East with the defending Eastern Conference champs, Indiana Pacers. Let's see what he had to say.
Tony East here in FedEx Forum in Memphis, where the Pacers just got smoked. 128-103, the final score against the Grizzlies. The score is obviously the main story. The Pacers didn't play particularly well. It was a close game at one point in the third quarter, but their defense was not very good. In the second quarter, their offense was never particularly good at all. They only forced 4 turnovers in the whole game. A lot for them to clean up on, but the story of their season through 2 games, they're 0-2, continues to be injuries. They just keep coming. Already entering today, no Tyrese Halliburton, no TJ McConnell, no Quentin Jackson, no Cam Jones, no Johnny Furphy. Andrew Nembhard gets hurt on opening night. Tonight, Taylon Peter, who is playing backup point guard, their second-round draft pick, goes down. In the third quarter, Benedict Mathurin goes down. They just keep losing guys. I may even have forgotten one. They have that many injuries. Ben Shepherd has a chipped tooth. Yes, they're not playing well. They need to play better. They were creative and found ways to play well in their opener. They need to find those quickly because they're running out of guys to do it. Well, much more on Locked On Pacers.
I hate to frame it this way after such a gutty effort on opening night against the Thunder, but man, just a nightmare start to the season for the Indiana Pacers if you go back to last year. But let's head out to the Rocky Mountains where Swipa has everything you need to know about a massive Nuggets win over the Phoenix Suns.
The Denver Nuggets get a dominant win over the Phoenix Suns, 133-111 in the game. Nikola Jokic seemed to be, he was just going to pass the ball for the entire game if it was up to him. He ends up with a crazy triple-double. Jamal Murray continues his great play to start the season off. Aaron Gordon, high-flying dunks all across the game. Peyton Watson welcomes Malawax to the NBA. The Denver Nuggets, they get a win after losing to the Golden State Warriors. Now the team has a chance to go on a little bit of run, put themselves in good position early to start the NBA season.
Oops.
They're on the board.
I missed the end of that. Sorry, Swipe, but check him out over at Locked On Nuggets. Nikola Jokic takes his first shot, or first field goal attempt anyways, with 2:26 left in the second quarter. 14 points, 14 rebounds, 15 assists, almost like he was out there just trying to prove a point that he didn't have to do more than that. All 5 starters for the Nuggets between 14 and 23 points. John, 7 players total double figures, almost the exact opposite story for the Phoenix Suns. 30 points for Devin Booker, only 2 other guys in double figures. Tough one for the Suns, just 20 hours after they were blown out by the Clippers. No Mark Williams, didn't have much of a chance in this game.
Yeah, no, that was, they were running into a buzzsaw. I like the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are a conference finalist at the very least in the West this season. Aaron Gordon, just what a monster. The 360 alley-oop from Jokic. That's Aaron Gordon's season right there. And you know, hitting not the best night from 3 in this game, but making noise from 3 so far. I like him. Murray has started slow so often that it's good to see him kind of start fast, and maybe he's just feeling better. So yeah, like this was probably going to be the result, coming into this game no matter what. But Gordon doing his thing, Murray doing his thing, it was easy pickings.
Jamal Murray, just a crazy 55-foot buzzer beater at the end of the first quarter. Christian Brown.
Hello, heave rule. Thank you, heave rule.
Yeah. You wouldn't got that last year. Christian Brown, dunk after dunk in the early going. Jokic putting on a show. It was a wrap early. All right, we don't have a ton of time, so we're going to go rapid fire. Week 1, overreaction. I'll throw in a third option because I think it's reasonable. Proper reaction or underreaction. John, tell me what you think as quick as you can. Over, proper, under. Victor Wembanyama is a top 3 player in the world today.
Slight overreaction. Slight overreaction. Just because we just need to see the consistency. He needs to stay healthy. You see the slow motion of his step back 3-pointer, and like you watch his right foot. It just looks like the ankle wants to sprain every step he took. So he's climbing the ladder quickly, but just a slight overreaction right now.
Yeah, I think if you're doing a draft to start the season, it would be hard to take him there. If the question was top 3 peaks in the NBA right now, I think he's there already, which is crazy to say because he's like just legal drinking age. All right, I'm going to give you 4 teams: the Sixers, the Bulls, the Raptors, the Hornets, all currently in the play-in/playoffs. Is it an overreaction that at least 3 of them will be in the top 10 in the Eastern Conference at season's end?
Okay, Sixers, Bulls, Hornets, Raptors. Overreaction. I don't think the Raptors, well, Hornets, no. The Sixers one really is because of the injuries. That's the tough one. And I do think, look, I think the Bulls, they always find their way into the top 10. I'm still going to say overreaction. 2 of those teams, they're going to find their way out. I just don't know who the second team is.
Okay, I like it. I'm going Sixers, Bulls, and I think one of the other 2 does it. All right, last one. Rockets will trade for a starting point guard before the end of the season.
That is true because they're going to have to. They went all in, and that is a proper reaction. They have to. You see some of the different options that they have. I think there's a clip out there of Amen Thompson just like flailing around and falling on top of the ball and trying to bring it up. the scattering report is out. You can pressure those guys. You can force them into turnovers. They have to find a point guard. But the problem is you're going to have to overpay because everybody knows you're desperate to find a point guard. So, like, let's just say they come sniffing around to Boston and be like, hey, you're struggling. Is Derek White available? Celtics might say, sure, he's available. Give me all of your good picks that you have because you're looking for a win now solution. So, yes, they're going to start shopping around, but they're going to have to pay a heavy price to get the point guard that they need.
Derek White would be incredible. They could go a little lower on the totem pole. Someone like Colin Sexton, who I mentioned earlier. There's a real depth of talented guards around the NBA. I expect Houston, like you, to get one of them. Not sure Reed Shepherd is going to get there this season, but that'll do it for this edition of Locked On NBA Game Night. He's John Karalis. Check him out over at Locked On Celtics. I'm Gavin Schall. Check me out over on Locked On Knicks, and we'll talk to you very, very soon on Locked On NBA Game Night. Every game, every night.